guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about beauty boxes, and I want to talk about that because obviously Christmas season has just ended and we saw the whole fiasco with the luxury beauty calendars. Chanel, I'm looking at you. However, it really brought to the forefront of my mind beauty boxes, because I'm someone who for a very long time whilst here I used to be obsessed with them, and at the time they were a really good investment. You buy it and you get a set amount of product, maybe like 5 or 6 products, sometimes more, and they're all to test out. So they could be full size, they could be minis, they could be kind of like little luxury things that you get. And for the longest time they were pretty good deals. So you're paying about 15, I think the average is about £15 for a box. That's if you're buying like a single box, not a subscription, where it's like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. You're paying about £15, right? And getting 5 products, 3 out of 5 that are most likely going to be a full-size product, was a really good idea, right? But no, you don't really get that. For example, the most recent one I saw, it was like 5 products, all minis. It wasn't even like minis, it was like 2 actual beauty products, 1 rag, like one of the cleansing rags that you'd buy, and a gua sha. That was the most recent one from January. And I was looking back because I've been looking into getting back into them, because I was like, oh, 2024, I want to really restart, because there's a lot of products that I want to try, or even just products that I don't know, I was just like be surprised to get. And when I was looking at it, I was like, why would I spend £15 on something that, 1, I'm not going to use half of the products in that box, and 2, it wasn't worth it. Like, what are you getting? You aren't getting. I saw someone comment on beauty boxes to say that there are essentially no products that you put into a box that are either going out of stock or people just don't want them. Like, just giving them to people for free because nobody's gonna pay for them, right? And I'm like, why would you do that? Because it's essentially a waste of the consumer's money, a waste of the consumer's time, and it's a negative reflection on your brand, right? Because if I know you as a brand that sells me really good things, and you were previously known for upholding a certain standard, why are you gonna risk that for, I don't even know what for, because none of it makes sense as far as a business standpoint to me. Because all that is showing me at this point in time is that I need to stop purchasing this product. Like, don't waste my money on it, right? Which I understand, like in times like this you want to essentially kind of cut costs as a brand, as a company, but your consumers are still the biggest player in that part of your business, right? So if your consumers are looking at something and being like, well, if I were to do this instead, I'd be saving money instead of wasting money, because you're not giving me quality worth what I'm paying, then you're gonna be losing out, because you're gonna backtrack and backtrack and backtrack until there's nothing left, right? You can't come back from that once you hit a brick in your market, right? And I feel like nowadays brands aren't really seeing that, because for the longest time people would always say, well, you know, it's okay because they're such a well-known brand, and you know, no matter what they do, their loyal followers or loyal subscribers would always come back and be like, well, I'm gonna spend money because it's this brand, right? And I think brands don't seem to realize that that's not the case anymore. Consumers aren't just paying for something because it's a brand. They're gonna pay for something that is worth what they're putting in. Nobody has money to waste in today's economy, right? Nobody has money to put down and say, I'm gonna spend this amount of money just because it's this brand. And if you do, great, but you are not of the majority percentage. The majority percentage are people who are working every day to ensure that their bills are paid, that there's food on their table, that their heating in this like -degree weather isn't going out, right? So why are companies not paying attention to this big part of the, I don't know, their consumer brand, their consumer market? I don't know what to say, because for me, if I were running a business and I realized that my consumers were consistently telling me to really rethink some of my business ideas, I'd rethink some of my business ideas, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how much money I want to make, I'm not going to be making money if people stop spending money on me, on my brand, on my product, right? So why is this not a thing? Why is no one like really bringing this up? Why are companies not actually looking into this more? Because for such a big company, and I get that it's not their, I say not their, at least this specific company, there's more than one, and for some this is their main source of income because that is how they keep the company afloat. But if you're not giving me good product, you're gonna go out of business. And what then, right? What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna say then? Because at that point, it's not the consumer's fault, it's your fault. It's your fault as a business person not paying attention to the market you are advertising to, right? You still have kids. Kids will always buy stuff because it's trendy, it's cute, and you know, there is no consequence for them with the money that they're spending, right? However, their parents are ultimately the ones who are providing this financial freedom to them. And when the market gets tougher for the parents, it's gonna slowly have a trickle-down effect. And businesses learn about trickle-down effects because it's something that they need to understand to be able to market to consumers, right? And so if they're not paying attention to the trickle-down effect that will happen with parents, what's gonna become of them, right? Why is it that we've gotten to a point where companies think it's okay to not put their consumers first? And you would not have noticed this if you weren't paying attention. It'd be a lot harder to notice this in really any other market if we didn't have as wide of a reach today with the internet that we do. Because a lot of the times you see something and you're like, that makes no sense. But if you don't see anyone else talking about it, you're gonna be like, well, it's just me. And then someone else who you probably talk to on a daily basis is probably thinking the exact same thing. Well, I see this, but nobody else is talking about it. So is it just me? Am I the person who is just like looking into things without actually seeing it? I feel like we need to start holding companies accountable in that regard. Companies that can be held accountable should be held accountable. And I say that to say all brands can be held accountable. And in this market that we are in, it's not okay to have people spending money on products that at the end of the day aren't good products. In the makeup world, in the skincare world, you spend a lot of money. My skincare routine is very expensive. And it's very expensive because I'm paying for a certain amount of quality in my product. And if that quality were to stop, my money would stop because I would not be giving my money to this brand regardless of how much I love a brand, right? My makeup routine is pretty expensive because I spend money to find quality makeup that I will constantly use and I will constantly come back to. It's not something that I try and I'm like, I spent like £50 on this. Why is it like this, right? It's something that I say I'm spending like £40 on this and I love it. I love the product, I love the brand, and so I'm going to come back, I'm going to spend more money on it. That is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to be getting quality for the money that you're paying for. and you're not getting quality life for the money you're paying for, you should stop spending your money on something that at the end of the day, they don't care about whether or not you're enjoying the product if you're going to continue spending money on them, right? If it is that they don't see a need to change anything that they're doing because the money's still coming in, we're going to constantly be in this cycle and people are going to constantly complain. And the only person who can make a change is you, the viewer, the consumer. You know, it's not the company, because the company is only going to make a change based on their financial receipts for the year. When you look at companies' records financially, when you, especially one in beauty where it's about criticism and it's about consumer spending tactics, they do make changes to ensure that they keep with the markets. If you don't, you die. It was really hard seeing a brand that I go to Boots all the time, I go to Superdrug all the time, and I remember walking in there one day and a brand was just disappearing, literally coming off market. They were shutting down all their stalls, everything in Boots and Superdrug. And I was with my mom at the time, and I was saying, oh yeah, this company's going out of stock, out of operation. She's like, what, why? And I'm like, well, because they don't adapt to the market. They're not paying attention to what their consumers want, right? It's a huge thing in this side of the business, in the beauty and makeup side of the business. And so I feel like for companies that sell these beauty boxes, they need to be treated the same way we treat makeup companies. We need to treat them to say, well, if you're not giving me what I want, I'm gonna stop spending my money here. Yes, you have a subscription plan and it's sometimes good, but it's not a sometimes that I'm paying for. If I'm paying £15 every month, I should not be getting good quality sometimes. I should be getting good quality all the time, right? But nobody's doing that. You'll complain, but you'll still spend your money. That's not helping anything or anyone, because the company doesn't care whether or not you're happy as long as they make their money. They don't need you to be happy. They need you to be spending. And if you're going to continue spending, then they're going to look at it and say, well, I mean, people are still spending money on it. Why should we change anything? Which is fair enough, because, you know, you want to see companies thrive, especially companies that you've supported for a long period of time. You want to see them do well, but you shouldn't have them make money at your expense as a consumer. You shouldn't have them do better when they're treating you like crap, right? And a lot of consumers put up with it because it's brands that they love and brands that they, you know, spend a lot of time helping out by spending money on them, advertising them to their friends, doing all of that, right? But again, none of that is gonna help you in the long run as a consumer, because you are a consumer, right? Your voice isn't heard, your money is. And I think we need to start paying attention to that. Your voice isn't what's heard, it's your money. And if your money isn't talking, your voice won't do anything, right? And I know nobody wants to face that reality that as a consumer, the brand that you are supporting isn't a brand that cares about whether or not you are upset with their product. Good brands do, and good brands will take criticism into account and reformulate and replan and, you know, come back with something better to match the consumer's voices. However, most businesses aren't run by people who care how the day-to-day consumer lives or responds. They only care about what their pockets say. And that is because most business people don't have to spend time on our side of the bench, right? However, if it is that you see that and you say, well, I'm gonna use my money to talk instead, then they'll come to the table and they bring you to that conversation. And I feel like a lot of people need to realize you need to be brought to that conversation if you want change to be made. The only way you're gonna be brought to that conversation is if you use your money to ensure that they understand that what they're doing isn't something that you agree with, and what they're doing isn't something that you want to be a part of, right? But it sucks, I know. And before I came to that realization that a lot of brands really don't care, especially brands that you want to care about, brands that you've put time and effort and money and, you know, patience into, when you find out they don't care about you, it hurts. It hurts a lot, especially because it's not something that you as a consumer would hope, because for the longest time consumers are always told, well, the customer's always right. And so, you know, you listen to your customers, you ensure that, you know, you give them what they want. It's not that market anymore. And it really never was. It was a tactic that was used to make you feel as though you were valued. And sad to say, you weren't. The only thing that they valued was your money. And the only thing that changed was the internet. You have in today's day easier access to the internet, which means that you have easier access to more information. So you can see that these companies really don't do anything. They just say they do something because you're giving them your money, right? I promise you, if we had the internet, or if people stopped giving them money back in those days, you would have seen a faster change than you do now, right? Because what else are they gonna do? They want to keep making money, so they're going to do whatever it takes to keep making money. And to do that, they're gonna need to listen to whoever is bringing that in, right? But it sucks because I always wanted to be one of those people who fond of our brand and was like, support them 100%. And I do with some brands. I would support them 100% regardless of anything, right? But I'm also now at a point in my own life where I'm realizing that I don't need to support you just because you're a brand I like. I only support the product that I like. Supporting brands needs to stop, right? We need to stop supporting brand and only support product. Because if we start only supporting product, we'll only ever have good product, right? That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. So I feel like heading in 2024, because we're in 2024 now, and I feel like I've had time to really sit down and think about things like this, especially because I'm older now and I have more financial understanding. I didn't before. I was a child before, and so I didn't have any reason to have financial understanding. What was I understanding? What was I being pushed to understand? Nothing, because nothing that I did as a child was affecting me. Now I'm older, I'm an adult, so everything I do affects me financially, right? It's my money, it's, you know, my voice. So why am I not going to use my money and my voice to make the changes I want to see get done? And I feel like we all need to start thinking like that. It's your money, it's your voice. So if you want something done to make a product better, to make a company better, especially one that you want to only see do well, why not, you know? I'm done, and this is the look. I went with a pretty basic pink nude because obviously today is not it's raining, guys. It's so depressing. I'm looking out the window at just how is that snow? Is that snow? I have like two bay windows right in front of the camera. And so I'm looking out. I know it was raining not too long ago. So I wasn't sure. It's been minus. It is snowy. It's the first snow 2024. And I hope it was catch it on camera. But it's so gorgeous. The first snow 2024 is today. I'm filming this on a Tuesday, not on. I normally upload on a Wednesday, but I'm filming this on a Tuesday because I'm gonna be busy tomorrow. But I'm gonna upload tomorrow on time. I'm very happy that it snowed today because I was feeling very upset yesterday. I had to go out. It was minus weather yesterday and the roads were completely frosted over. Everything was just like freezing. And so knowing that it snowed makes me feel better because at least it snowed for a reason, right? Like it wasn't just freezing and then there was no snow. It was freezing and then there was snow. So I'm very happy with that. But this is the look. It's like went off a tangent. I did not expect it to snow. Went off on a tangent. But this is my face. This is the complete look. And you know, let me know in the comments, what do you think of beauty boxes? Like advent calendars, beauty boxes, some of them are actually worth it. Again, we're talking about advent calendars being worth it, not beauty boxes. Advent calendars are worth it, some of them. Chanel, I'm looking at you. What was that? But beauty boxes in general, like you're paying £15. Do you think that they need to do better? Do you think that is worth the money? Like, let me know, because I feel like I'm not the only one with this thought process, the one who's looking at these and I'm like, who's spending their money? You know, all of that. Just, yeah, let me know. See you guys in the next one.